How to stop dropping levels. If you want to hear my advice on it before we even start watching the video, just stop giving up. I think that there is a common tendency in the modern era to literally give up right after you try something for the first time and you're not immediately good at it. I think literally the advice for this video is simple. Just keep trying. The only thing that guarantees your failure is giving up. So, I mean, it's kind of... the answer is in itself, but I'm curious to see what Theos wants to talk about in this video.
How many times have you or someone...
it's easier said than done, but just like stop giving up.
...someone you know started getting good progress on levels and be able to stick to it just to have to end up dropping it in the end? I mean, it's fine if it happens once, but what if it happens every time? This video...
then it's a pattern of behavior, and if there's a pattern of behavior in your life that you don't like, you need to change it.
will
and you need to feel empowered to change it.
Fix that issue and hopefully make it so that you never drop a level.
But patterns of behavior are very hard to change.
Again. As someone who's played a game for a very long time now, there is not a single level that I can say that I actually wanted to beat and didn't end up doing it because I dropped it. Pretty much every completion that I wanted to do, I did, and everything that I dropped a few years ago, I ended up beating recently. So I think I'm qualified to talk a little bit about how to never worry about dropping a level, whether it's about levels in your skill range, or even super big jumps that you're afraid you might not be able to complete. First, I'm going to cover the non-jumping aspect, as I think jumping changes the picture quite a bit and has a bit of a different approach. The first tip I'd have when it comes to not dropping levels anymore would be having an actual criteria before deciding to fully commit to something. Personally, I wouldn't ever just look at a level and say that I'm going for it. While this is an extreme side of the spectrum, getting any runs on it and saying it's good enough also isn't the best idea. I think the best way to go about this would be to look at the level, play it throughout fully, aim for 3 to 5 runs, and then decide if you actually want to go for it. The difference from getting a level...
yeah, I think a lot of GD players can be stubborn in general, chat. Like, I do think that there's like this tendency of like, oh, I see a level, I have to be able to beat it. But I do think that probably something that is understated in this community is just like give a level a trial period to what he's talking about. Like, if you don't like something, you don't have to fully commit to it immediately. Like, it's genuinely like, sometimes it's not that deep. It only becomes deep once you have that feeling inside of like, I care about this level, I care about beating it, and I want to grind it. But I feel like too many people, like, their starting point for every level is like, I gotta beat this, you know? So like, unpack that, dismantle that aspect of yourself. For an example, with me, we've started grinding daily levels. If I don't like the gameplay of the daily level, I just stop playing it. I don't feel some type of way about it. If I like it and I feel compelled enough to beat it, I'll beat it. But like, if I don't like it, then I'll just be like, oh, I don't want to beat this. It's literally that simple. So maybe it's like, maybe it's also just like trying more levels to figure out what you like. But yeah, just take the onus of the decision off of every single time you play a level in the game.
...in 3 to 5 runs to beating it is so absurdly high anyway.
Aren't you in that case for Sonic Wave? Yeah, like Sonic Wave is one of those levels that I've seen and I think it looks cool and I want to beat it. So I'm going to try it out. I'm going to try jumping to it.
Anyway, that it's not like you spent a disproportionate amount of time on the level just for you to not beat it. Having a criteria for a level is definitely the thing that helped me the most in having good choices, which makes the idea of dropping the level harder. If you like the song, the deco, and the raw gameplay, you've played it a little bit from pretty much everywhere, and now understand how the level mainly flows, you should still expect it to be words from zero, but now you have enough information to know whether or not fully committing to it would actually be a good idea.
And the other good thing about if you start getting in the practice of trying to find what your criteria for a level is, you will get better at identifying what the criteria for a level you want to commit to is. You might be bad at it at first. It might kind of be like weird and you might commit to some levels that end up not being a good fit. But if you keep doing this and you cultivate this conscious awareness, this mindfulness of how you select levels, you will get good at it. And then you'll be able to have the intuition of some of your favorite top creators who are just like, oh, I could see myself playing this level. Oh, I really couldn't see myself playing this level. But you have to start somewhere if you want to like build that skill. It's a skill. Knowing yourself is a skill.
No other showcase, recommendation, practice run, or random start POS run is going to be on the same level as making the decision after already playing it a bit. And this point is tied in with my next one, which is framing progress. Now, what do I mean when I say this? Framing progress is extremely
the level's only fun if I get 100% on it.
Important. If you learn the level and you manage to get it in a few runs, it doesn't mean you're forced to beat it. No one says that just because you played a level for 10,000 attempts that you have to go for it. It's a pretty arbitrary rule that I've seen a lot of people just do for no apparent reason, and it doesn't serve any purpose. In this game, you can play anything you want whenever you want. The idea of having to beat something only exists in your mind, not in any progress on any level. You could spend 100,000 attempts on a level and still not have to go for it, but I'd frame progress in a different way. Personally, when thinking about going for a level, instead of trying to get it in as few runs as possible, I would just try to do.
Only problem is if you get too hung up on having a strong criteria for levels, you might end up never going out of your comfort zone. I mean, there's a give and take to everything, man. Like, we're trying to solve people who are chronically stopping, like, people who are chronically dropping levels. We're trying to solve that problem. We can't solve every single problem at once. If it then becomes that you have too much of a tendency or an indulgence to a specific type of level, and that's something you want to change, you wish that you could get out of your comfort zone, that's a different problem. That's a different subject for a different video.
Runs to see how fast I could do them.
But if we keep like adding way too much to the pot and just like trying to solve every problem at once, that's what gets people like paralyzed by analysis.
That way, you're not holding yourself to having to beat the level, but just having to do runs on it. And this way of progressing makes a lot more sense, since instead of going from 0 progress to having to beat it, you have a middle checkpoint that gives you proper information and lets you make a good decision. Now, besides having a criteria and changing the way you view progress, another super important thing to mention is separating wanting to play the level versus going for it. If you like the golden and your hardest is an easy demon, feel free to play the golden, do what you want to do. But after spending enough time on it, don't say to yourself, I'm officially jumping now, or that you're officially going for it. Why would you say that unless you have extremely good progress? You're just gonna hold yourself to the same standard as someone who's trying to beat the level, which, if you're not close to doing, will just make your mental worse and you'll force yourself to play sessions just so you're closer to the finish line.
I disagree. I think this is a bit of a false equivalency. I see what he's getting at. Like, I see where he's saying, like, you shouldn't commit to a level unless you have good progress on it. I just fundamentally disagree. If you're having fun with the challenge, it's perfectly fine to commit to. A good example is Bloodbath. A lot of people don't understand this because it's just the way my brain works. Like, I didn't have good progress on Bloodbath for a long time, but it felt worth it. The journey felt worth it, and it's been cathartic. I do think it's still a good idea to not necessarily jump to, I want to play this level, therefore I'm committing to it. I think that's an important delineation. But I also don't think that you inherently need good progress on a level before you say, I'm going for this. Like, I think that can be a bit of a weak mindset.
What you started off doing because you like the level, now will slowly turn into the...
Like, the person who ends up beating a Turnus is not going to be the person who had, like, immediate good progress on a Turnus. You feel me?
Sure, because you're holding yourself to the same mentality as what someone would think after having 98% on it, except you have it in 4 runs. So whether you're jumping or not here, separate wanting to play the level and actually planning to beat it. Play the level for fun first, frame progress as just doing separate parts, see if it fits your criteria and if you actually enjoy it, get it in 3 runs, make an informed decision, and then you can say that you're officially going for it.
But I do agree with like this whole idea of breaking this down into, I think what really works about this video is it's like, honestly, don't even think about like all these different steps he's outlining. Just like, I think the through line of it is like, make regular check-in points with yourself. Checkpoints of like, okay, play a level today. Do you like playing the level? Cool. Play a level next week. Like, continue the grind. Check in with yourself regularly. Am I still enjoying this? If the answer is ever false, that's when you can consider dropping it. But like, it doesn't have to be like this super granular. I think the important thing is just like, be honest with yourself. Check in with yourself. If you're enjoying a level, play it. If you're not, stop.
Psst. Before we carry on with the video, if you enjoyed it so far, it would be awesome if you could subscribe. It's the only way I know whether or not to keep making videos like these, and would also help me reach my goal of 10k by the end of the year. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Now, everything up until this point was just about what you should do when it comes to actually committing to a level. But there are also 2 very important concepts to keep in mind when you're already in the process of beating it. The first one is simple. Do not play other levels on the side. I'm not
This is interesting. I'll hear him out.
not saying you shouldn't play anything but the main level you want until completion, but please try your hardest to not play other things on the side. If you're struggling with...
I think what he's arguing for is that Geometry Dash players have a tendency to get distracted, and maybe if you're playing other levels and the main one you're locked in on, it might potentially send you down a slip of like, oh man, playing other stuff is more fun and make you lock out on your progress. I don't think this is necessarily a one-size-fits-all solution, but I do think it's probably a good solution if for someone who is chronically dropping levels because of probably an issue with focus and attention and getting distracted.
The level you want to beat, and enough time passed to the point where you're not at the initial hype when you started it.
This is a horrible take. You can improve if you play multiple at once. It's just harder to beat an individual level. I don't think it's a horrible take, but I do agree. Like, honestly, something that helped me with my Bloodbath grind was starting to play like the daily levels every day. And like I think it's good to break up the monotony of playing one level. Now, obviously, you don't have to commit to multiple levels at once. That'll probably burn yourself out. But again, this is salt to taste. If you feel like playing other levels will kind of give you a fresh perspective on maybe like I don't know. I feel like my ship gameplay was getting kind of rigid because I've been playing a lot of Bloodbath ship. Now I'm playing more ship in like the daily levels, even though they're like way easier levels. It's giving me some much needed perspective on like the engine of the game and how it feels. For me, it feels like it's working. I don't think that this is like something that is hindering my progress. Honestly, one could argue maybe it's helped with my Bloodbath progress because right around when we started doing daily levels, I suddenly started making good progress on Bloodbath. Take it or leave it.
And you decide to play other levels? Yeah, good luck, bro. It's like you're trying to eat your favorite food straight for 2 years.
I think what they mean is don't have multiple main levels or grinding, but you can still play other levels. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I said that in the paragraph that I just said was like, if they're talking about don't commit to a bunch of different levels.
Just to see if you could do it. And then when you're in, you decide to also start having other really good meals whenever you want. It will be 10 times harder to go back to your favorite meal challenge since you've already had it for a year and now you've just experienced something new that's also really good. The contrast difference will make it way harder for you to keep playing the level you initially wanted to beat. And I want to make something clear here. I'm not saying don't have fun and don't do what you want to do in the game. Feel free to do whatever you want. But this is a video about how to not drop levels. And this is something extremely important in that aspect. If you need a video like this because you're struggling at top-end Extreme Demons, don't be surprised you have to do a few sacrifices in terms of enjoyment in order to complete something really hard.
No, and this goes back to literally what I was saying. Like, when I started this pause point is like, I do think that this is valuable advice. Again, for someone chronically dropping levels, they probably do need to lock in. They probably do need to, even if they're not committing to a level, obviously, with me, my problem's not discipline. So for me, playing random daily levels and playing other levels on the side and not necessarily committing to them, that has not been a hindrance for me. If you're someone where your main problem is dropping every single level you try, you're fundamentally a different kind of player than I am. So again, it's going to vary. So I think that this is good advice. I don't think it's a bad take. I think that he's cognizant of the audience of this video and who he needs to help.
Now, the second thing to mention while in the process of beating...
I think people chastise people for dropping levels, which is totally unwarranted. I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's neither here nor there. I do agree. Like, I think that judgment based on what other people do in the game is annoying. But again, we're not talking about judging dropping levels. We're talking about people who keep dropping levels in the game and they feel bad about that. They feel bad about the fact that they keep dropping levels in Geometry Dash and they want to figure out how they can change. We're not talking about other people's opinions of it.
A level is similar to what we just
Though I do agree
about,
with you, people judging other people is annoying.
Future levels that you want to do. This one is basically just the first, but instead of playing it, now you just think about it, which could actually even be worse. If you've been playing the same level for a very long time, and every single session you can't stop thinking about how cool the next level you want to do is, and how badly you want to be the next level on your Extreme Demon ladder, do not be surprised if you drop it.
I mean, and to be fair, to speak to my own experience, I've talked about this recently on stream. The past couple of weeks, I've really been excited to play Sonic Wave. Do I think that that's fully sabotaging my enjoyment on Bloodbath right now? Not necessarily. But like for a long time, people are always asking me what the next thing's going to be. And that's why so often I caution, like, I don't really want to think about the next thing right now, is this exact point. I think if you plan too far ahead, you take yourself out of the present. If you're literally planning the next 5 years of your time in GD, like you're not going to be able to enjoy the current stepping stone you're on.
Effectively, while playing your main level, you're now constantly thinking about how much better the next...
But if you're not a content creator where you have an audience that's constantly accosting you, harassing you, asking you what the next thing is, you probably won't have that problem. So I would highly recommend, the only reason why I've come up with an answer to what's next is because people keep asking me the question. if you're just playing this game offline for yourself, don't answer that question. Just focus on what is right in front of you, which is right now.
Experience will be. And what this does is it makes it way worse to play your current level, and also is demotivating to keep playing it, since your mind just wants to do the next cool thing anyway. And so if the access to that is simply just dropping a level, then you will probably drop it. It's very easy for your mind to get bored of something and think of something new, cool, and innovative that it wants to do. In fact, you're pretty much biologically wired to do this, and it will apply to something like Geometry Dash. Now, the last point to talk about is jumping difficulty, and how to not drop levels while doing so.
Oh, this is us, dude. This is us. Jumped from Bloodbath, or currently jumping. We're, you know, we still got 12% left, but we're close. We jumped from 9 circles to Bloodbath. What's he going to say about us?
And for this one, you basically have to apply everything mentioned so far, but on steroids. When you jump difficulty, you are going into the unknown. You've never played this difficulty before. You've never...
If you don't like struggling, you shouldn't jump. I have a lot of people who come into my chat and they're just like, Teej, should I jump to this level? And I would argue, if you have to ask someone else whether you should jump to a level, that is a red flag that you probably shouldn't jump to the level. You need to be locked in, bro. You need to be self-motivated. Did I ask anyone if I was going to jump to Bloodbath? No. Has this jump to Bloodbath still been hard, even still? Yeah. You have to be self-motivated if you're jumping. You can't just jump to a level willy-nilly. You need to like feel locked in on it and be like, I got it. I'm going to do this. So if you're not feeling that, play a level you want to play.
Had a mental experience like this before, you've never progressed on a similar level before, you've never beaten something like this before, you don't know what to expect, and you don't have any control over anything. Trying to stick to the usual standard that got you up until that point will not work. Geometry Dash is a game where you need to adapt with harder...
Absolutely. Yeah, like the closest analog to my Bloodbath grind, chat, has not been my previous Geometry Dash grinds. It has been my time speedrunning. My time labbing Celeste 80%, my time labbing Super Mario 64 16 star. Like, it feels more like that than it does 9 circles, than it does Deadlocked. Like, that is the transferable skill that has helped me with the jump to Bloodbath. If you're viewing it as like, anytime you're jumping, it's not going to feel like you're playing Geometry Dash. I keep thinking about this. There was a Grief stream a while ago that I was watching of Doggies where he was just like, dude, Grief is not Geometry Dash. This level is not Geometry Dash. And I think that's true for a lot of top levels. But if you're doing a jump to a skill level far beyond like what your current reach is, you're not going to feel like you're playing Geometry Dash. You're going to feel like you're grinding like super hard. Like you're going to, it doesn't feel like the game anymore. So if you, and that's the problem, I think. I think a lot of people are just like, they view a jump as still like vanilla Geometry Dash, but it's really its own different beast.
Difficulties, and just because you've adapted from Stereo Madness to Extreme Demons, it doesn't...
Obviously, I'm not saying that Bloodbath difficulty-wise is comparable to Grief. I'm saying that the experience of jumping to a level, that is what is synonymous with just not having a direct parallel to what you're familiar with in GD, with what you've currently gone for and what you're now trying to jump to.
Doesn't mean you stop adapting. Every new hardest you go through, the experience...
People jumping just for the sake of showing off without having any actual passion for the level is only going to grow to resent the game. Yeah, exactly. And that was like a lot of people when I first jumped to Bloodbath. I think that's why a lot of them were calling me a LARPer. They thought I was just doing it for views. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding now. I've been very dedicated, and I actually care about Geometry Dash as a game and improving in it and beating top ones or like historical top ones. Like, it's clear now. But at the time, that was the fear that I think some people had. They were just like, oh, this guy's LARPing. This guy just wants views. So yes, I would say if you are jumping for that aspect, I think that that can be one part of your motivation. But if that is your sole motivator, it's a foundation of sand and you're gonna hate it.
Is different and it's always unique.
Absolutely.
Which is why you should absolutely never...
But any decision you make in life, if you're making that decision because of other people instead of yourself, that's usually a slippery slope of misery.
Never believe you have full control over what's going to happen. Consistency isn't there after 3 months. A part is always a choke point no matter what. Nerf control has absolutely zero improvement. You stop playing for a day and now all of your muscle memory disappeared. Just because you didn't experience this before doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. One of the reasons why jumping is so bad is exactly because of this. What you're supposed to learn through doing multiple hardests, you decide to learn 5 times harder by jumping difficulty, and you have no idea what to expect. So if you're jumping, literally have zero expectations. Don't even
I agree, dude. This was a word I want to chat. Write this down. Literally, if you have issues with locking in on anything in life, this is the one tidbit of advice I want to give anyone. The villain of any progress when it comes to self-improvement is that word, expectation. You have some idea of what the outcome is, what the product needs to be before you even show up and try. Expectation. It sucks, bro. Do not fall victim to it. Do not fall victim to expectation. Dude, it's a silent killer, bro.
even bother saying you're going for a level until you literally almost have it beaten. Anything before 2 to 3 runs is absolutely meaningless in my opinion.
Okay, again, like I'm not gonna coast. Like he's really, and maybe again this is my personal bias. I think he's way too dismissive of like not having meaningful progress on something. I think that this is a bit of his bias. If this works for him, if he feels that not committing to a level until he has it in a small amount of runs works for him, that's great. I feel like this is a bit of his implicit bias. Again, I don't think you need meaningful progress before committing to a level. I just don't think that's the case.
Although this does depend on how big the jump is. But the rule of thumb that always applies is the same. Do not have any expectations since you are fully jumping.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm kind of confused by this point he keeps bringing up of like you need meaningful progress. It's kind of hypocritical in a way, right? Because what's your expectation? Your expectation of meaningful progress, here's an expectation. Your expectation of meaningful progress is you need to have it in a small amount of runs. But progress is not always a tangible thing. Progress isn't always something that you can chart on a piece of paper. Look at my bloodbath grind. For a long time, I was just consistent, going over and over again. And then like all these people commenting now are just like, where's all this progress coming from? Because it wasn't always the most like chartable thing. It wasn't always a new best. But now, over the course of a long time, now I'm starting to reap the benefits of all the practice over time. So does that mean that all those streams where like we were stuck at one best, that wasn't meaningful progress? Exactly. Progress is not linear. But again, this is where I think his bias is coming in. I think that that expectation that meaningful progress is only having a level and a small amount of runs, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
Into the unknown, and to say that you're going for a level when you don't even know where you're getting yourself
If it works for you, that's great. But I like philosophically for me, I disagree with that notion.
into is a massive mistake that will then make you wonder why you ended up dropping it. And you might just say that you had a bad mental and you didn't have enough discipline, which is not what it was. It was just the fact that you thought you knew something above your league. So if anything, blame your ego for it. The last point, and this is something that
I mean, I do think the answer to anything, like, I just believe that the human spirit has more capacity to it than most of us understand. I've said this before in other reacts, but I think more often than not, when you give up on something, it's a mental diff. It's not like your spirit is weak. It's because like you talked yourself out of it mentally. I think oftentimes like the brain is the first thing to give up. The brain is the first thing to give up. So like, I don't know, bro. I feel like so many people could learn so much about themselves if just like, chat, the next time your brain just immediately knee-jerk is just like, I don't want to do this, just try. Just challenge it once. Just be like, what if I don't give up when my brain tells me to give up? What if I just challenge it once? What if I just push past it once? I know the argument is just like, oh, well, don't burn yourself out. But I would argue most people don't work to the point where they're burning themselves out. They don't even try enough to begin with. They get the first piece of resistance, and they're just like, I don't want to do this. That's no way to live, bro. Push yourself. The next time something in your brain is just like, maybe this isn't for me, tell that part of your brain to go fuck itself and just rise above it. Be a freaking anime protagonist in your own life. Be Goku.
that personally helps me, although it might not be something you can do right now, is to have a history of no dropped levels. It's way harder to drop something knowing that everything that you faced up until this point, you've completed. Your mind is used to always beating something, no matter how hard it is.
Carrot on a stick.
If you previously dropped levels, your mind is content with dropping another one. So, if you
Yup.
already previously dropped levels, my recommendation would be to go back and beat them. Try your hardest to have absolutely no drop levels uncompleted, and that will give you an extra permanent motivation boost for whatever you want to do next. You went through so much and beat everything no matter how bad it was, you would just have to do it one more time. I also asked a few pro players for their own opinions and advice on how to stop dropping levels, so here's what they had to say.
A lot of people struggle with
Again, I feel like we've gotten super heady. I still think the best advice is stop. The best advice to stop dropping levels is just to stop dropping levels, which is hard. Sometimes you might commit to levels that you don't want to do, but again, bringing it full circle, I think that sometimes doing stuff that you don't always feel like you want to do can help you grow as a person, can help you challenge that limiting belief system that you have of yourself. It's easier said than done, but it can really turn you into much more of a deeply disciplined and powerful person. You gotta push past at some point that negative underminer in your brain that's just like, it's not worth it. This is a waste of my time. What's the point? I'm just gonna stay in bed all day. Food for thought, bro.
with sticking to a level, right? They tend to get good progress in the beginning, so they decide to go for it, but after a while they, either get bored or they plateau, so they end up dropping it. Now, I'm curious what's
Boredom is not an excuse to give up. It oftentimes is an explanation for why someone gave up, but boredom is not, to me, a solid excuse.
sort of advice you'd have for them, since I'm sure you could also relate to this a bit.
Oh yeah, I definitely relate to this, bro. A lot. The first tip I have is generally just like try to play around people who like motivate you.
The best piece of advice I can give is just take breaks. We all play levels that we just don't like after, a certain amount of time when we stop progressing or, whatever it may be. I just say take breaks. I mean, eventually, from my experience, you just kind of regain your consistency after taking breaks. You kind of like reset your mind a little bit. I remember.
Yeah, dude, ever since I start, I've talked about this on stream. Obviously, I haven't taken an extended break, but I was getting super into the weeds with the bloodbath grind, especially like a month ago. I was like literally practicing like 8 to 10 hours every single day, 7 days a week. And that was when like my finger pain was getting really bad. And now like the past month, I'd say I've been starting to take like the weekends off, which has been really hell mentally because like I just want to play the game. I just want to keep grinding. But again, I started taking weekends off and look at our progress on the level. We keep on getting new bests. So yeah, turns out that playing the game every single day for as long as you can possibly play it is not the smartest way to improve at the game.
When I was playing Acheron, I took a lot of breaks because I would just hit like a consistency wall and I just wouldn't be able to progress. But after I took like
So you play offline? No, I used to. Oh my God, you guys are
a
annoying.
week or two break, I was able to like break the mind.
Sorry, for context for people watching the react, that was someone who at the beginning of this stream today, they asked me if I played the game offline and I said, no, I don't really do that anymore. And now they're doing the chatter thing where they're like, oh, I caught you in a lie. You do play offline. And it's like, no, dude, I used to play offline. And as I've gotten closer to beating Bloodbath, I have not really been playing offline.
Block, and then same with
There's the
Slaughterhouse,
context.
too. I mean, it's
Annoying.
all taking breaks.
Going on to the second tip, when I'm struggling on a level, when I like can't progress like at all, I kind of see it as like the level's testing me to see if I'm worthy of like beating it.
You're the Joe
Wait,
Bar of
that's-
GD. I get that a lot.
That really sparked. I know, bro. That definitely got me through like a bunch of like painful stuff.
Supposedly 2 hours of the max session length for peak performance and improvement before burnout. Dude, I'm going to be honest. I've gotten a lot of my best. I mean, think about even yesterday. I get a lot of my best around the 3-4 hour mark sometimes. I do think certainly around the 2 hour mark is like peak performance for sure. But again, your mileage may vary. For me, sometimes I dig deep and I surprise myself. Sometimes there are a lot of times during a session where I want to give up and I'm just like, just a little more, just a little more. And usually that just a little more is when I get really like big breakthrough moments.
Stuff that like I've just been trying to go through with.
But no, yeah, for sure. I know it's just like supposed, but like I would say in general, limit your sessions to 2 hours. I do think that that's like a good common denominator. But on any given day, if you just feel like you can give a little bit more, obviously don't push it too far past that, but just like, if you're feeling up for it, give yourself another hour.
Levels.
Another question I'd have is, do you think like people dropping levels an issue because they just don't have like the discipline to beat the levels?
Absolutely.
Or do you think that it's because a lot
I think we can talk ourselves in circles and add all these additional thoughts and explanations and stuff. But yes, at the end of the day, it is discipline. You can't convince me otherwise. It's the hardest thing about living in our modern world. We're in our phones with algorithms that can please our monkey brains in an instant. The second you don't like something, you can just like flip your thumb and go to the next thing. It's instant gratification. We've already talked about this, but we don't talk about like the actual implications of that enough, especially in like trying to commit to things that have actual value to our self-improvement in our life. It's like, it's so clearly that, bro. Again, there are all these other things and there are explanations and there are all these things that are symptomatic of that, but that's what it is, a discipline diff. I really think it is. I really think it is. And I think if some people over an extended period of time just did stuff and they learned what the day in, day out of was like, oh, today I did it and it was easy. Oh, today I did it and it wasn't easy. Today I did it and it was not easy at all. Eventually you cycle back and it's like, oh, today it was easy again. That's like streaming for me, bro. Do you think I feel like I'm in the mood to stream every single day? No, I'm a freaking person. I have days where I'm like, oh, dude, stream feels great. And it's just flying by. And then I have days where I'm just like, all right, I'm just kind of showing up today, putting my best foot forward. That's the way life is. You're not going to always feel like wanting to do something. That's the ebb and flow of life. So lock in and just show up. A lot of people underestimate the power of just showing up and getting the rep in. Just get the reps in, bro.
a lot of people just go for the levels way faster
It doesn't have to be perfect.
I'm not even gonna lie. You kind of go for it way faster than you should. I'm not even gonna lie. That's the answer. Playing from like start pauses, like get consistent at it. Maybe get it in like a couple runs. If you
What's the minimum session to reach peak performance? Your mileage may vary, but probably after you warm up, I would probably minimum get like a minute or an hour in. I think the hour to 2 hour of like conscious, dedicated, focused practice, not just kind of like playing through the game, but like really focusing and like, unpacking like what your trouble spots are and trying to figure them out. I would say the 1 to 2 hour range, I think, is really good for that. But obviously, like if you're just trying to be consistent, I would say it's more important to get in 30 minutes of practice 5 days a week versus like 1 to 2 hours of practice only 2 days a week, right? So again, it very much has to do with your schedule. I would say consistency overall.
if you still like the level,
Especially for muscle memory, consistency across multiple days. If you're doing something more days of the week than you're not, like that's proven neuroscience wise to be a benefit for muscle
go
memory.
for it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a bit of both, honestly. Like, I understand watching a showcase and thinking a level looks cool, because I mean, I've done that many times before. Some people will drop levels that are in their skill range. That might be, boredom or a lack of discipline. I mean, it kind of depends on what exactly it.
But again, I think dropping something because you're bored is a symptom of lack of discipline. Because a disciplined person doesn't give up on something because they're bored of it. A disciplined person is just like, oh, this feels boring today. I'm going to do it anyway.
It is.
They're not
Like,
two different things. They're connected. They're linked.
I know subterminal point, I dropped that because it was just.
People who have a regular workout regimen talk about this all the time. Talk to any person in your life that you ever met who has like a ripped physique or whatever. If you ask them how they got there, they're going to tell you, no, there are plenty of days I didn't want to go to the gym, but I still went.
So boring.
It's the same shit.
Terrible. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
the other point about like them not having like the mentality, they have like an unhealthy like lifestyle, and like their mental health is like unhealthy. Just like point number 2 for discipline, mental health is like, I think it's one of the most like important things ever, and
Yeah.
it helped me out like so much with like Acheron, all my really hard like achievements. Also like just like sharing your
I'll say it again, chat. Life is mental diff. It's all about your mindset. There's a lot of other factors at play, but if you have an L mindset, your life's going to be a lot harder than if you have a W mindset. Like, I don't want to like have to say it, but it's genuinely true. And I've said that before with GD too. GD is so much more of a mental game than it is like a physical mechanic one. It's obviously very physically mechanically difficult, but again, if you don't feel like getting out of bed to play the game, That's a non-starter.
Your progress to your friends, like streaming too, hyping up like you beating it and stuff like that.
And then
when
it's
you
harder
beat
to
it,
drop.
end up beating it, like you just get even more dopamine.
Do you have any like experience where, you know, you dropped a level or you wanted to drop a level, right, really badly, but you ended up beating it? And if so, if you do have that,
What a powerful thing. Can you imagine, chat? All you want to do is give up, and you just lock in and you still achieve it even when you wanted to give up. What a powerful thing.
just curious, like, what you did to go from wanting to completely drop it
That could change your life.
beating it. Is it just taking breaks and that's it?
Defeated circles. All right, I wanted to drop that because I thought it was too hard. I guess what kind of like motivated me to keep going was I broke the mind block that I had. I think it was at 51. I was stuck at 51 for a couple days, and I just kind of wanted to drop it because I was getting new best runs to 100 consistently, but I couldn't, you know, pass 51 from 0.
Yeah.
But
This is what I think people fail to understand sometimes. Sometimes the obstacle on the level is the really hard click pattern you can't figure out. Sometimes the obstacle on a level you're grinding is you, bro. Literally. Literally. How many times on Bloodbath? You've been in some of the streams. How many times on Bloodbath am I literally whinging and I'm just like, I'm never going to beat this? Like, that's me, bro. That's not Bloodbath. That's me. That's me literally self-sabotaging. And yeah, sometimes you're mind blocked on stuff and you're just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, and that's the hard part about GD, I think. A lot of people are unwilling to face the fact that their ego is speaking up. Sometimes it's not the level, bro. I'd argue, honestly, most of the time, it's not even the level. It's you. It's you. It's how you're processing the experience of grinding the level. Again, it's mindset.
I finally passed.
But that's the power, right? You overcome a mind block and it makes you a better player. Because again, if you get mind blocked on a level and you give up, what have you taught yourself? Oh, if I ever feel stuck mentally on a part of a level, I should just give up on it. If you stay stubborn and you keep trying until you overcome the mind block, what do you teach yourself? Oh, just because I become a mind blocked on a part of a level doesn't mean I will never pass that part of a level ever again. How powerful is that? Because the whole rest of your time playing GD, you are going to experience mind block. You are going to experience parts of levels where you're just like, you feel like you're making no progress on it, and it's literally your worst enemy. So you need to be able to start giving yourself those reps of, okay, just because this part feels impossible, so long as I keep showing up, I will eventually overcome it. It doesn't need to be today. It doesn't need to be this hour. But if I keep showing up, then mind block will dissipate. I'll still be standing. The level won't. I will still be standing.
It, and then after that, the level became easier. I just got more consistent, so that's what made me finish that. Oh, Climaxed, I dropped that level like twice.
Pause.
That level was terrible. But honestly, the only reason I finished Climax is because I didn't want to like have
Pause.
to think about it anymore. So I was just like, all right, let's get it done. Then I don't have to play it.
Yeah, I was also thinking that might be a good way to like stop dropping levels is like if you don't have any drop levels, you don't want to have one that's always there in the back of your mind, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, there's some levels where, you know, you just cannot stick with them. Like some levels are that bad. So I understand.
Moving on to the third tip. Usually when I see people who are having the hardest time on stuff, they're kind of just playing to like beat the level like really fast to look cool, you know, but generally like that's how I used to see the game. I saw these flashy players, like I saw what Zoink beat subsuming in like 8K or something.
Nah, it was 3.6K, bro. You have to huff that.
I don't know. It was something like that. I think that was pop off. I'm not sure, but I saw like some crazy attempts like that, and I'm just like this is back when my hardest was Bloodbath. Like I wanted to be the
Why do you say that like it wasn't impressive?
so badly. Like
Yeah.
generally like the main advice here is just I would say focus on what you want for yourself.
So just a bunch of bad levels. You either take a break, maybe drop it once, come back to it, maybe get a skill boost.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta get past like a mind block, and eventually you'll get more consistent.
Exactly. Pretty much.
At the end? Oh no, final verdict.
So yeah, that's what some other pro players had to say on this, and I hope you learned something from the video. Hopefully you don't end
Dude,
up
I
dropping
love
your
these
next
Theos
bonus.
videos.
If you have a different opinion or just think that I was wrong, let me know in the comments. I always pin the best one on every single video, and if you have any video ideas you want my opinion on, I have a channel on my Discord server where you could join and let me know. Quick shout out to the channel members here, and if you like the video, subscribe. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy the video on the screen, so
Like, genuinely, chat, I feel like these Theos videos are always W reacts. Like, we have so much to talk about. This was a 15-minute video. I think I yapped for like another 30 minutes, which is my bad. But again, like, I'm passionate about this stuff. And I think Theos makes like really compelling, like topic videos that are just like solid. Like, this is stuff that matters. It's applicable to all of us as GD players. And yeah, I just want to share my perspective on it. But again, like, and I know, like, again, with every Theos video, I have a few points where like I just kind of disagree. But I do think that this was a very thoughtful video, very well put together, and a lot of value in it. So definitely, if my yapping distracted from the video, be sure to go to Theos's channel, subscribe, watch this video again for yourself. I think that this is one of those videos where like there's literally a wealth of information in it that even watching it again or watching it more than once, you can really take more away from it. So W Theos, as always, I love those videos. Guys, go in the description and be sure to join the TeejVeen Discord. Go to the React to this Teej channel and drop videos that you want me to react to. Fire react to other videos that other people suggested, because that's a way to upvote them, so I know that you want me to react them. Do that, please. In the meantime, take care. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Did you like that? Don't even pretend like you didn't. You made it that far in the video. Well, did you know that I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch and YouTube, and you could catch me live and get to be a part of the experience when it happens? Also, if you don't care about that, or otherwise you want to see more of the video that you just watched, link in the description to watch the full VOD. Do that, please. I have a black eye because I play basketball sometimes. Bye. Oh,